And here we are again with another how-to video. This time it is for a Maytag Bravos washing machine that is not exactly working right, and I'm going to bet you have the same problem. So there are two different problems that I have been experiencing, and I'm sure that you are experiencing at least one of these. The first one is you go and you turn it on, and then you got to try to make a selection change here, and that happens. Well, what that is the system saying that the lid is not closed. Well, the lid is closed and it's still doing that. So that means that there is an issue with the locking mechanism or the interlock, that part which is part of the interlock, to make sure that that lid is down. The second problem, and this would happen only once the cycle starts, is that it stops right in the middle of it. There'll be it will either try to start and stop, or it'll be right in the middle of the cycle and it will stop and give you basically the same error that the lid is not locked. So the question then becomes, why is it that the machine is not seeing that the lid is down when the lid is down? Well, let's open it up and take a quick look, and I'll explain to you exactly what's going on here. Underneath the top here is the main locking mechanism. And you can see there's a little slit here, and that's where that would pop out and would lock into the top half of the lid itself. So if you come up here to the top half of this lid, you see where that locking mechanism would actually fit into there. Well, how does it know it's down? Well, very simple. There's a magnet in here. And I can show you real quickly if I just take a piece of steel tool that, yep, see, there's the magnet. Okay, there's a magnet. Well, when you close that lid down into here, my guess is what they did was they put a reed switch in here. It's a magnetic reed switch. So what happens is that when that magnet would come right down in here, that little reed switch would close or open, depending on how they built this thing, and would say, hey, the lid is now closed. If it doesn't see that, then it's saying, hey, the lid is still open. Okay, then let's proceed to removing this top piece so that we can change this out. Come around here and show you. There are 3 screws that you're going to have to remove. This one, and way over here, that one. Also, we're going to have to take this this whole panel off in order to access where the connector is at the end of the locking mechanism, which actually goes all the way inside here to the control board. So you will have an extra 5 screws that you got to take off on the back. Here's one here, there, and there's one way down on the end here. So we're going to take those 5 screws out as well. The end. This plate will just, you see here, it will go over the top. It'll go over the top here of the, and it's out of the way. Okay, now that the screws have been removed from the back, it is now time to remove the lid from the top of the washing machine. Very easy to do. All you need is to grab a hold of it from the front like this and give it a good pull forward. Then lift up on the front gently, push it back just a little bit, and then the whole thing will release. So here we are. It's opened up. I stuck a piece of wood in there so that I could work on it. And right up here in the top is our problem. So the next step is the actual removal of the locking mechanism, which basically is just held in place with a couple of screws, which we'll get to last. But first and foremost, we have to remove the cable that is run all the way down through the inside of this lid, all the way down here. It goes into the hole, and the other side is the main circuit board. And it's just a connector that pops off. But we got to take this whole thing out first before we do anything. So, this one's easy. It's just a tie wrap. You can just cut it with a pair of wire cutters and then just pull that out. I've already cut it just for demonstration purposes, so that's already done. But you have 1, 2, 3 clips, these metal clips that are actually holding the cable in along the inside of the lid. So I found that rather than trying to pry these things off, all I have to do is just get a screwdriver behind this, and I can pull it back enough that I can actually pull the cable out from behind it. And I'll do the same thing for the other two down here using the same little screwdriver. And that was pretty easy. And now the whole thing has been pulled out and it's just kind of hanging here now. The next step is there are 2 clips, and I'm going to show you here. This metal clip right here, and there's one over here. I'm going to see if I can get up underneath here and show you that one right there. See that metal? There's a metal clip right there. Those 2 clips are what's holding the front end of this panel on. So here's how you take them out. On the one on the left side, get yourself a big old screwdriver and get it up in here, and you should be able to push it back. And if you see here, it popped. You just kind of get it up in there with that. Now on the right hand side, you could try to use the same screwdriver and try to pop this out, or I'm going to try to use a pair of channel locks. There seems to be pretty good just gotta pull it down, and there we go. Channel locks. There they are. Channel locks. That worked. And as you can see, I've popped the other side here, so now this plate, this top, should just come right off. Basically, you have to kind of pull it forward because there are, if you look way in the back here, see right down here at the bottom, right where my finger is, there's a little tab and slot. So you got to push this thing forward like that, and then the whole thing comes up. Same thing on the other side. Well, now we've undone both of these, we can actually flip this thing up. And if you look right here, that little connector with the orange and blue and black wire, we're gonna pull that out, and that will then allow us to remove the entire control panel. There's a little tab, if you look on the very back. Just get your finger in there, pull it back just slightly, and that whole connector will lift straight up. Now I've set the control panel off to the side. We'll go back here to our wiring harness, and this cable right here, this kind of beigey cable, this one right here, that is the cable that connects to the locking mechanism up underneath here. So once again, just you need 2 hands to do this. Push back on this little tab, and this will just pop right off. Now we're going to go ahead and pull this back and push it through to the other side of the lid, as so. Okay, with the lid open, here is our cable. Now, what I didn't realize in taking the assembly out was that you don't have to remove these two Phillips screws, that you only have to remove the two top star drive screws, and then the whole assembly will come out. So I got out the star drive. I think this is a T6. I'm not positive. So I'm just going to take this last one out, and then the whole assembly will just drop. So here is the replacement. I bought this online. If you look online on these, at most of the major appliance part retailers, you will pay anywhere between $75 and $200 for this. I got this on eBay for 20 bucks, free shipping. If you compare it to the original, they are identical. So my guess is, since these are all made in China by the same manufacturer, they just sell them to the different companies, and then if they want to charge $100 for the same thing, so be it. In the reverse order, this piece just goes up here and fits in like that. And now you have two screws here. Now we're going to take this cable and we're going to tuck it up underneath here, all the way to the other side. And we're going to pull back on these clips and attach the cable. Now at the very bottom here is the original clip that had the tie wrap on it, and they actually give you a brand new one here that you just push through. It's already been pre-tie wrapped, so you're going to have to remove this. So we're just going to go to the top side here, and right here is that little clip. Just grab it with a pair of channel locks and push in on the little tabs, and the whole thing just pops right through. And pop that right in there. Then just take this connector cable and push it through the hole here. That popped out. Push that back in. There we go. Come around here to the other side. This connector is going to go right in here. Okay, and we put the lid back down. Now we're going to go ahead and put this panel back on. You still have the connector that we used to disconnect that, and that goes right here. Okay, make sure that these things are lined up underneath here. Make sure that those tabs on both sides are lined up, and then in theory all you got to do is push down on it and the whole thing should just snap into place, just like that. And now we got to go and put all our screws back. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over here 6 and 7 screws. And the final one is this plate. Just got fitted into the little tabs here. Pull it over. And insert the final screw. Plug it back in. And I think we will find now that the unit works just fine. Look at that. And that, my friends, is that.